And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death. And Micah will have justice when it's all said and done, and I'm going to make sure of it.
You know what my biggest question is? Why is he saying that? My alleged opinion is that all he has to do is look in the mirror. The whole case would be solved. At this point, I believe he had a big hand in what happened to Micah. And if he truly wants justice for Micah, he'll stop lying and tell the truth. But see, we know that's not going to happen. He's not going to make that simple, is he? As a DVNSA survivor, I want justice for Micah and her family. Period. Too many people are giving him attention. But what he said there angered me. But remember what everybody's talking about, as in Mr. Charles, that was in the pawn shop? This Charles right here, the one with the fish. But wait, boys and girls, there's more. So if he's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, why is this on his Facebook? Is that too much of a coincidence? I don't know, is it? It was very odd watching the footage of him in the pawn shop. The way he looked at her and would scan at her. And then the eye contact they have with each other. And of course the other guy that was coming in meandering around. Very suspicious. But at the gas station, there's one thing that some people don't mention. And that's the white truck that slowed way down going past that gas station. Maybe that's another one that needs to be looked at, right? But also, too, it seems like the guy in the pawn shop, Mr. Charles, it looks like he was driving a Mercedes. You can look at it on the outside. Everybody's seen the white van that the other guy was driving. What about the one that Charles was driving? So we've got to understand a few things. There's a lot of people that have a lot of theories about Micah Miller. And a lot of these bigger creators don't want to listen to a lot of people. I've been in some of their lives. I have placed several comments and never got acknowledged. I've done the same thing on YouTube. JLR, Harvey, none of them acknowledged or wrote back or commented. I do have my own theories. Some I've heard since I've had these theories. Because me and Just a Girl Next Door has dived so deep into this case since it started. Okay? Micah's dad said that she knew pew-pews and knew how to use it. I believe she made it to that park, and I believe blackmail got her there. And given that she knew pew-pews, it was already ready. But the person that grabbed her and grabbed her pew-pew didn't. And he chambered it. That would explain the live round on the ground. If, allegedly, she was pew-pewed here, with the type of weapon and ammunition she had, it would go straight through, which can possibly explain the hole in the tree. Okay? Now, as in for the fisherman, I kind of tend to believe he was in on it and got paid. That's why he left with their stuff. Why would he counter cash? Oh, it's $500. All of it was there. That's not counting what you didn't say was there. My opinion. Okay? Any person would never leave with the personal belongings, especially switch cars. So hopefully they're being looked into, as in the one that found her as well. Because looking at some of the footage that some of these creators were, they were boots on the ground out there, there's no way he could have got a boat in there to find her like he did. And not only that, there's not enough current to push her between a log and a tree, 130 feet from the pew-pew, with her personal belongings in another space. What else was in that bag? That's something we'll probably never know, thanks to the fishermen. And why would the one that found her call 911 when he had just talked to a deputy? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? I believe she was blackmailed there. But were her phone pinged? "592 feet is another spot upriver, which also leads to a campground, which people can get in and out without being detected at Lamberton State Park. Nobody would have seen them, but they could pay a few people to interfere with people with what they were doing. Right? So if they go to the campground, load back up, and haul Heine undetected. There's a lot to this case that a lot of people see, and the smaller creators see, and some of these big creators needs to get off their clout train. Not all of them, but some of them. And start listening to other people. And one of them is after clout. She is rude, inconsiderate, and her moderators like blocking people for nothing. Then ask for money to go to North Carolina and South Carolina to fund her trip for boots on the ground. That to me is clout, and I don't take too kindly to that. I'm a DVNSA survivor. There's a lot of us have wonderful, wonderful ideas and theories of what allegedly happened to Micah. But with the way everything looks, it was not self-infliction, in my opinion. And being in the United States with free speech and all, I can say my opinion, JP, because something that you will never be is a pastor. I was one of the lucky ones in my case. I just wish Micah had the same opportunity to be a survivor instead of fall victim to the likes of JP. There needs to be more awareness for DVNSA survivors. And in doing that, you bigger creators need to start listening to DVNSA survivors. Maybe you can get more of a clue and content that you can do instead of worry about clout and how many numbers you can get. And the person that's putting out all these videos of JP, but not saying where she's getting them, that to me is clout. Of course, my opinion. JLR, I wrote his YouTube, nothing. Harvey, nothing. Some of these lives, nothing. Sometimes when you listen to people, especially DVNSA survivors, you might need to get a little bit more insight of a situation and maybe get other ideas to maybe bring more content to your own page. If only you would just listen to people. And just because I don't have all the numbers you do, I don't need those numbers. I just need to make a difference. And that's justice for Micah and everyone else that's walking her shoes. And the family deserves to have that justice. Just saying.